God save our gracious King. Long live our noble King. God save the King. Welcome to the F1 podcast, where today it is finally happened. We got an all British podium. I'm Ajax and I'm joined by Sorgun.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. First of all, big applause for the intro. That was very British.
Oh, glorious
Yeah,
day.
almost made
It's
me a Brit.
finally happened. We finally have it.
And actually crazy that this is the first time it happened like since like 1968. It's a
Oh my
damn long
gosh,
time
yeah.
since the last full British podium. Yeah, what a race, what a weekend. Honestly, it was more interesting than we thought it would be. Also had some boring
Oh,
parts, but the finish
it
was
was,
excellent.
yeah. It looked like it was going to be incredibly boring, and then it went, nope.
Yeah, absolute craziness, especially in the strategy department. We did not expect because we were used to the one-stop Pirelli boring races, but somehow it was actually a two-stop minimum for every driver. Some drivers even did four stops thanks to the safety cars. So
Yeah.
yeah, winning on a four stop is very much unseen in modern Formula One, and what a way to win the race! Wow, that was crazy.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But yeah, it was an exciting Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you because yeah, a lot of chaos happened, shall we say?
Yeah, there's many talking points, and we'll go through as many of them as possible. So, getting into the weekend, we obviously had technical directive with the Mercedes engines compression ratio thing. We were waiting to see what actually is going to happen. Pecking order pretty much remained the same as we saw, particularly in the previous races. Mercedes at the top, occasional McLaren or Ferrari in there in the practices, but nothing too concrete. We didn't really know what was going to happen, especially in qualifying. Mercedes seems to have an edge with the party mode they kind of have in Q3, especially. Uh, that was very very close to a full first, I believe, non-Mercedes pole position of this year. Lewis Hamilton P2, less than a tenth away from George Russell, who gained most of the time on the straights. Let's be real.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy in a straight line. So amazing lap from Lewis. Other side of the garage wasn't as impressive, to say the least. Yeah,
No, I will be. We'll get to that probably in the driving rating sections. But yeah, it was a big. It wasn't a surprise the qualifying, was it? I don't think there was really anything surprising apart from Leclerc crashing yet again in qualifying, or as one of my brothers called him, Charles Stroll. But yeah, I think that was pretty much the qualifying we were expecting because of all the practice sessions, which is nice to have free practice sessions because we haven't had many of those recently. Um, so yeah, and yeah, pretty much Russell does look like he's quicker one lap on this track than Antonelli. He was
yeah.
last year. He by a second last year. He proved again to be this year. I think Antonelli actually pulled out quite a good lap. Bear in mind the rest of his weekend wasn't going so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Hamilton in between them. Probably it would have probably been Hamilton and Leclerc, but it ended up just being Hamilton.
Yeah. Mentioning the top three, Russell pole position, Anthony P3, so that's 2 points bang on for you
Get in there! Oof!
already. With Max and P2, wasn't that far. Obviously, Max wasn't expected to like challenge for pole position, but he was up there with the other cars. It was like a group of like 4 to 5 cars within 0.2 of a second. It was very close behind Antonelli. Even Antonelli was in that group technically, so was like from Antonelli all the way down to Piastri in P7. So very, very close. Honestly, we'll get to one specific prediction later that could have happened. That'll be actually crazy, but didn't. It didn't. It was close. So P4,
Absurd.
P4 Norris, I believe. That's also correct.
Yes, another
Uh,
point.
so already equal after the first four categories. Not looking the
If
greatest
only
for
I'd,
me.
if I'd swapped Max and Lewis, I would have got all five.
That's true as well. Wow. Kind of nailed the qualifying in there. Uh, Looking at the race, you weren't that far off with me either. Guess the podium correct, just in the wrong order.
Well, it would have been the podium.
Yeah, it would have been on the podium. I also got that thing happened. Well, things happened. Yeah, on P5, Max is Verstappen. So, yeah. On the other hand, I get no points. Not great. Uh, yeah, I was a believer in Max. Probably was not the greatest idea, but it just felt like a Max pull. Red Bulls just didn't seem to have any pace this weekend, really. So, unfortunate. But rest of the qualifying. So in P6 we had Hajar, very impressive in qualifying, very close to Max. Piastri,
Yes.
Piastri kind of disappointing for Piastri, who seemed like this quicker driver at McLaren up until Q3. So
I'll get to Piastri.
yeah, Piastri Piastri was seen during the weekend. Like we were seeing Piastri. There were some moments that even other drivers talked about Piastri. Ended up DNFing, obviously. I get to that. He himself didn't have much of an impressive weekend and still ended up like P4, I believe, in the end.
It was
Crazy.
P5.
P5, sorry. Thanks to all those DNFs. A lot of points for not much
I gotta say,
performance.
I don't mind him not getting blundered the weekend when we get to it, but I thought this was a terrible Piastri race. I think this was abysmal from him. Given how quick Norris was for the whole race, and Norris was basically behind them at Mercedes, keeping up with them the whole race. For Piastri to be like 30 seconds behind his teammate was nuts. It was it was not a good race for Piastri. Sorry to say, I'm aware.
No, you're right. You're completely right. Piastri did not have a good race. His race pace was abysmal, and that doesn't really suit the blunder weekend. Still, like finishing on
No,
big points.
yeah.
It's just that he
He
did
did.
the bare minimum to not get the blunder of the weekend, as there are a couple of drivers
If
less
if there
impressive.
wasn't that many retirements, then I would be arguing this a lot more. But luckily, yeah, it was retirement central this weekend, so that was lucky
Yeah.
for Piastri to end up fifth, despite basically being seventh the whole race.
Yep.
And yeah, being I think it was in total 35 seconds behind Norris was pretty staggering, especially given how Norris just was behind Antonelli the whole race. Always like Norris kept coming in and scaring the pants out of Antonelli. Whenever Antonelli then had to do a stop straight afterwards.
Yeah.
And even at the end, he was right behind Antonelli and Russell for so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good race from him. I'm going to have a lot of British bias for this race. I'm sure I'm going to talk about each of them. But yeah, that was a bit on Norris. Anyway, and
Yes.
Piastri.
Yes. Lando was within like 3 seconds of Antonelli the entire race. Very impressive race pace for him. Who knows what would have happened if he had qualified ahead of Antonelli? Perhaps could have actually remained ahead of him because he looked like he had the pace for it. So yeah. Anyways, qualifying rest of the results, obviously Leclerc P10. Yeah. Another weekend, another crash. Just yeah. Leclerc thinks he's not having a good time right now. It's probably one of his weakest stretch of Grand Prix in a long time for Charles Leclerc. Um,
Yeah, yeah, really
but
weak.
I also don't have any doubts that he can come back from it because he always have, and he always reminds everyone just how good he is. It's just that his teammate is just so damn good right now that it makes Leclerc look even worse than he actually is. Uh, yeah, this is like if Lewis would have kept the form from last year, like imagine he would like, be like P7, P8. Those look like performances wouldn't look that bad, but now they do because Lewis is doing absolute wonders at a car for some reason. Like it's yeah, he's not looking good for Charles mainly because Lewis is has remembered who he is. Uh, yeah. Rest of the Q3 was Hulkenberg first time in Q3 in the season. Rest of the weekend is yeah, we'll talk about that. And the other one was Gasly, I believe. So yeah, that was his Q3. And apart from that, nothing much happened in qualifying except for Lance Stroll out qualifying Fernando Alonso after a year and a half. that was crazy. Other than that, it was pretty much what you were expecting qualifying. Perez ahead of Bottas, Sainz ahead of Albon, Lawson ahead of Lindblad, Gasly ahead of Ocon, and Hulkenberg ahead of Bortoleto, Behrman ahead of Ocon. Like all those kind of what you expect to happen. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that was qualifying. Now we get to the race, the Grand Prix, and the race start. Everyone expecting a long run into turn one, absolute chaos, and then we ended up having one of the most boring race starts in Formula history.
Yeah,
Because what was that?
Apart from like Hadjar just not going anywhere,
Yeah,
it
like,
was boring.
Hajar had a bad start, apart from that, like no one lost positions. Like it's anyone just kept their position and didn't even try to overtake. It was strange. Like nothing really happened. Obviously, then Hajar was on the charge through the grid. He overtook those midfield cars pretty smoothly. It has to be said. Hajar really looked like he had the pace with a top 10. That was
The
unfortunate.
entertainer of the weekend.
Yeah, like he had a really bad start, which kind of ruined his chance for more points. I think he could have fought Piastri legitimately on pace because Piastri was that slow and Hajar was that quick. I could have fought, but yeah, the Red Bull is not the most reliable car when it comes to race starts. We saw it in Monaco. Yeah, unfortunate for Hajar, but showed some great comeback. At the start,
As of late, he's
yes,
had like really poor starts, which is quite funny because Max was the one with really poor starts at the start of the year.
yeah, I think it's more down to the car right now. You've seen both drivers have really bad starts. It didn't look like they could do anything with it well. So yeah. Like at the start, we had Leclerc starting in P10. He got through those two really quickly. Then overtook Piastri later on, which I thought Piastri would put up more of a fight. Honestly, finding a car of similar to equal speed in a race for a position, it really looked like just let him through kind of around the outside. He could have fought way more. Piastri definitely has the wheel-to-wheel racing to actually fight Leclerc there, but yeah, he kind of just let him, not let him through as in that sense of the word, but didn't put up much of a fight, which I was very disappointed by because already I was not having a good time with Piastri's weekend. But yeah,
But yeah, I think apart from the scare of Leclerc almost driving into him, I'm not going to harp on Piastri too much. I've already done it. It was a poor weekend. He looked like he was disengaged, is what I would say. But perhaps he can take Lewis's words of "remember who you are," and put that to himself. I mean, Norris looked a bit disengaged as well. Actually, come the end of it, because simply that was his whole race was just sitting behind Antonelli. So yeah, not a great weekend for the McLarens, but they as I say, at least Norris was keeping up. That is something. But yeah, the Grand Prix start I would say was boring. It was interesting to see, Hamilton and Verstappen on the softs, see what they could do. Turns out very little. They came into pit early. It turns out because they were on this alternate strategy, but that for some reason forced everyone else to panic and pit early, which was quite an interesting thing. I think Russell had talked about it at the end of the race where he said, I was, trying to keep those tires on for a lot longer. I was trying to, match that pace with those tires. We could have been looking at an entirely different race if they just let him keep going. But yeah, everyone had to panic pit stop, shall we say?
Yeah, it was like a chain reaction. Pretty much everyone pitted except the couple of drivers who kept on. We obviously, I mean, Russell was kind of let down in that sense. Like he was covering Hamilton, who he obviously had to cover in that case. But Russell definitely saved his tires. It was really showing that he didn't like pull away from Lewis, right? He was like 3 seconds ahead, and then that gap stayed there. Like he matched the pace up until, let's say, the Lewis undercut. And we had Antonelli pitting, and then the rest of the drivers with some drivers started on softs alongside Lewis. Lewis went to the pits earlier than the medium tire runners, which had to play a part in it because some drivers didn't have those fresh sets of hards. Like Max, for example, didn't have two sets of hard tires. He used one in the practice, so Max had to use mediums and so on. Like there were some differences in strategies among the drivers. Like it wasn't all that same, even among the top teams. Like we had some diversity in strategy. We had two pistons minimum, and that was actually a good recipe for some bold strategy options we saw later on in the race.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't until that late on in the race when Hamilton made the decision to pit very early off his first set of hards that we really saw the race sort of come to light. Yeah, it was a bold strategy choice from him because I just don't. I think everyone was expecting him to go on a lot longer. He was obviously on a hard set of tires, but no, he flashed off it quickly back on the mediums, and then he was zooming. This might be the quickest we've seen Hamilton. I mean, pure race pace in open air. He was crazy. Even that pass on Piastri was insane.
Yeah, it was absolutely flying out there, like more than 2 seconds quicker than Mercedes at that point in clean air. His teammate also let him through, very very sportsmanlike from Charles there. He must have not felt great there, but still let Lewis through for a strategy option. Yeah, Lewis just charged through. He cut like 20 seconds within 12 laps or so. It was absolutely mental, and so then they had to cover him when it was a few seconds behind. I think they lost a lot of seconds, like those Mercedes drivers. Like they were trying to cover each other. Obviously, George was ahead, but at that point, I thought I had some kind of a technical issue because it was very actually slow. It was slowing down Kimi, the point that Lewis was catching them so quickly. I thought they would like actually switch them up, so that could actually like fight for the win because it was looking like Lewis would just breeze past through both of them. And Antonelli looked like he had more pace at that point. I really thought that Russell had some kind of a mechanical issue, but nothing was confirmed. It was just that Russell was really slow for some reason at that point when Lewis pitted for that fresh set early on. Yeah, Lewis just caught them up, and then Mercedes pitted. And after that, Lewis was in front with pretty good gap. And now there comes the part that everyone liked. A virtual safety car. Fernando Alonso, of all
Yes.
drivers, stopped on track. Virtual safety car. Lewis had 15
Oh,
seconds ahead, and everyone knew what's going to happen. A free pit stop under the virtual safety car. George Russell comes out second behind Lewis Hamilton after the pit stops, and it's a British 1-2 with Anthony behind him.
yeah.
Almost British 1-2-3, which was been later on. But so far, we only have British 1-2. Anthony
Yeah.
P3, sorry,
No problem.
and yeah, it was game on. It was at that point, everyone pitted relatively close to each other. Obviously, Lewis pitted the latest because he pitted in the virtual safety car. That's really many drivers as well. Who was very unfortunate in that virtual safety car timing was Leclerc, who pitted like a lap earlier. It's literally like a lap. If he would have pitted a lap later, he would have double stacked with Lewis because Lewis has such a lead that it would not have any influence over Leclerc's pit stop. Very unfortunate there, but it worked perfectly for Lewis. We probably would have pitted eventually within the next 5 laps if the virtual safety car came. So perfect timing, and honestly, this is part of the strategy that we missed for a long time. That there's diversity, there's chances for these kind of things to happen. I mean, we've had similar thing to happen to in Japan, right? But
Yeah.
this was like purely strategy battle that just yeah.
Somehow,
I love this Formula One. This is kind of a Formula One that I missed with these strategy battles. Like kind of reminded me of the 2018 era, where there were Ferraris fighting Mercedes and so on. Yeah, nice throwback. It was again Mercedes fighting a Ferrari, and Ferrari came out on top. A good strategy call by Ferrari, which was surprising at least.
a rarity.
Yeah. Honestly, my throat is getting a little dry. Sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say, I think Ferrari took a risk that even Hamilton was questioning at the start with the softs, but they knew his pace. They knew it was quite interesting because of course Catalonia in the past has been like the real. Okay, this actually figures out who's got the pace, right? And Ferrari brought a bunch of upgrades. Mercedes have obviously had a slight change to how the engine can work, so on and so forth. And in pure open air, that wasn't one lap. Hamilton looked quicker. And there's a few other things that I think put onto this, right? I think the fact that Spain is quite tricky with how it's set up cornering wise. I think the fact that it's a short straight. I think all these things probably helped. But bear in mind, Hamilton looked like he was going to get a penalty and was just like, I mean, he got 20 seconds on everyone, which was nuts. But yeah, I think it was somehow we can say Ferrari made a good strategy choice, which is crazy. But yeah, and then we had a bit more of a shock come lap. I think it was 57 when the two Mercedes had been fighting for ages. Russell just looked so much slower on these hard tyres than he had done all weekend, and then Antonelli was right on his heels and looked to be and then took, despite the fact he'd been in the dirty air for ages and ages, then just started going down the road like it was nothing. So I think that was a big mindset change in the championship for me. The fact that Russell has had a difficult season and finally looked like there was a race that he could win. And not only was he not going to win, he was actually going to come behind Antonelli, who looked slower than him all weekend, until Antonelli's engine exploded.
Yeah. it had to come eventually, right? All the bad luck on Russell's
Yeah,
side and Anthony winning 5 races in a row. We knew this was going to happen eventually, and it happened. The exact same issue, apparently, according to Mercedes, that Russell had in Canada. So 1-1, both drivers losing a P2, 18 points when you think about it. So kind of equals out in there. Maybe Russell
yeah,
could have
yeah.
won Canada. Yeah, we'll never know about that. It's yeah, it was like a 50-50 chance at that point. But yeah, we had both drivers DNFing for the same issue, and Mercedes is not able to identify it yet. So looking like the reliability really could play its part in this season. Like we've had 7, I believe, DNFs in this race alone, thanks to well, no, not thanks to, due to reliability. At the same lap as Antonelli, lap 63, by the way. Wink, wink. The same lap as Antonelli, DNF. Looks like DNF as well. Well, he didn't have lap 64, but he went off into the gravel. Actually, I actually don't know what exactly caused that issue.
So
If it
I
was,
think it was his power steering, I believe.
oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
he
yeah,
he explained something went wrong with the system that basically shut down his power steering. So that's why he was all over the place because I mean, you need power steering in a normal car, never mind an F1 car, like
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Like he didn't have the power in hands to do that. Basically, he couldn't do anything at that point. Like it would be very silly to let him try to finish the race at the. Like they let him on for like 1.5 laps, but then he just pitted.
I think it actually took him one lap to get back.
Yeah, like
That's just how slow he was.
he couldn't do anything. And yeah, Leclerc moved down to DNF, second DNF in a row for the first time in his career. No.
Yeah, yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
And also,
unfortunately he was having a bad weekend anyway.
I want to
But
mention
yeah.
that wasn't the only thing. That we had actually the third DNF at the same time. That was only
Yeah, we
Behrman.
did. The forgotten DNF.
Yeah.
Yes, a crazy that they basically all happened at the same time. But yeah, Ollie Behrman also retired. I'm not actually sure what his issue was. But yeah,
Yeah, he just pitted and yeah, called it a day, pretty much.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there was some kind
But
of a
that
issue with the car. They told him to pit. They couldn't fix it on track. So yeah, unfortunate,
but
but
that
that was crazy that 3D cars DNF due to technical issue at the same time, essentially.
yes, but that meant that for the first time in my lifetime, for the first time in anyone in my family's lifetime that cares about F1, we had a British 1, 2, and 3, and Lewis Hamilton came home for his first ever Ferrari win. Which is just, I mean, as look, so a little thing for me as someone that has watched F1 since I was a baby. Um, is some of my earliest memories F1 related. Getting to see, I was just jumping up and down. I can't lie, I was jumping up and down. Getting to see basically the dream. It was incredible. There's in terms of F1, there's not much that will beat that in terms of my memory because especially these 3 drivers, 2 world champions, one that I desperately want to be a world champion this year. That coming home to complete that a British 1, 2, 3 is so rare, and I've waited for it for so long. And I was literally talking about in that race when it happened in Japan, how we got the opposite of it was Antonelli, Leclerc, and Piastri on the podium, and just yeah, I've been desperate for it to happen for so long since these top 3 drivers have been able to compete at the top spot, and and yeah, to finally have it happen was just incredible. I was so overwhelmed with happiness. And yeah, I know it's big for Hamilton as well, who had a terrible year last year, and really just didn't seem to. I mean, he's had a terrible 2 years, let's be honest, and just really seemed to have lost his way. To come back and have such a dominating win, in a Ferrari, which we've talked about before on this podcast, what it means to win in a Ferrari compared to any other car. How every driver dreams of driving for Ferrari, no matter how bad they have performed. So yeah, that was and 30 years since Michael Schumacher won his first race for Ferrari as well. And yeah, he got very tearful on the podium, which you can't imagine when it's your 100th and seventh race win, sixth race win. You don't imagine someone doing that, but it means a little bit more when it's in a Ferrari, I guess.
Yeah, that was a special moment even for me. I'm not even I'm not a huge Lewis fan. Neither am I British. I really found that very special, that podium, and the way he won. Incredible, just incredible. I'm really happy for you as my friend. You have to, you could experience something like this, because I did it last year with Hulkenberg podium. That was like the one thing.
Yes, yeah, this is. Yeah, I guess this is the a similar thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like the huge achievement for you as a fan that happens like once every 10 years pretty much. Obviously you are more fortunate with a Brit winning the title last year, and potentially a Brit winning the title this year as well. But yeah, very happy for you, and very, very interested to see what's going to happen, because this podium could repeat. That's a possibility that it could repeat this year as well.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, the British Grand Prix. That would be the dream. Not to add on to a dream already, but yeah. Also the last time three drivers from the same nation locked out a podium was Imola 1983, which was an all French podium.
Yeah, Silverstone podium. Imagine being like Lindblad, Behrman, Albon.
I've been honest. This week I've been thinking about it, and that would be amazing. By the way, I'd be equally as happy. I've been thinking about it, and I've been like, if those three get the top three in qualifying, do I just randomly buy a ticket the day before? Do I push myself to do that, because that would be the dream? But the British Grand Prix is chaotic, and there's no guarantees that would stay the same.
Yeah,
we've had them all three qualify top three before.
Yeah, like British Grand Prix is very, very unpredictable when it comes to the end result. You could have so many drivers in there, even the midfield drivers sometimes get on the podium there. And when the weather kicks in as well. Like last year, we saw McLaren went to Nico Hulkenberg. British Grand Prix is a thing of its own. Like, yeah, it's very unpredictable. But we'll see. I would definitely want to see that happen in some kind of shape or form. A full British podium in the British Grand Prix will be special. Yeah, we got a full British podium in the Spanish Grand Prix. We're having two Spanish drivers. One of them DNFing, the other one not even close to points. And an Argentine driver who was also he finished in P10 in the end, despite a penalty, but yeah. Nothing like the home soil advantage in there.
True that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and let's give ourselves some points then.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get many.
From the race, there are no points to be awarded.
No.
But yeah, extra categories. Those will Probably gave us some points. Ollie Behrman, driver of the weekend. No. Hulkenberg was good, but not even close to the driver of the weekend, who was Lewis Hamilton, the undisputed driver of the weekend.
Through that. Like, shout out to the I guess Alpines as well. But yeah, Hamilton 100% driver of the weekend.
Yeah. Garage of the weekend.
It's gonna have to be Ferrari, isn't
yeah,
it?
honestly, they brought upgrades, they fought Mercedes on pace, and they won. Despite one of the
They made
drivers.
the best strategy call.
Yeah, like one of the drivers decided to not really participate in the, in the weekend, but the other car, the main car who has won the race, that was Ferrari. Like that pace on the car and that strategy. Ferrari really nailed this weekend with the one car, but looks like this weekend, yeah, the DNF was unfortunate, but he didn't put himself in the position to begin with. Like he bottled qualifying and then in the race, it was quick, but wasn't like making some crazy jumps. We say that safety car was unfortunate, but yeah, it has to be Ferrari, like beating a Mercedes on pace.
Yeah, definitely
for the win. That strategy, pit stops, everything. Like Ferrari, at least half of it, really nailed this weekend, and it has to be said. Like, Ferrari is not known for that kind of a clean weekend.
no.
And winning as underdogs is not also a part of Ferrari DNA. Like when they win,
But
they have the fastest car. This is a rare moment.
all I'm saying is, if a team were to be second, I think I'd get a point.
Oh, you mean Alpine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
think
you have a point for Alpine. Like, yeah, they are very fortunate with the DNFs. See, there was Russell, there was Leclerc, Russell, sorry, Antonelli. There was Leclerc, there was Hulkenberg even, who DNF'd out of the points. Like, he was supposed to finish. Like those three drivers were supposed to finish ahead of them. Gasly got like what P7 and Antonelli. So without those, Gasly would have finished P10, and that was about it. Like from a team perspective, they've had more impressive weekends this year, and they weren't even the quickest midfield car. So
I think I'd argue this a lot more if Colapinto didn't get his penalty. But I think with Colapinto's penalty, it's sort of it's much of a notchness. If they were, I think they finished 7th and 8th, didn't they? If they finished that, and it had been that case, then it'd be fine. But they finished 7th and 10th in the end, and that's just not enough. So yeah, I'm happy to concede that.
Yeah, Red Bull, no. Not even close. Blunder of the weekend. I mean,
we've already talked about this.
I mean, Piastri, no. I don't think this is worthy of a blunder. That was
I don't. It's not his fault.
So from the drivers who were
probably eligible, actually, he's slow.
There was Ocon was very slow. Bortoletto very slow compared to his teammate. Obviously, we had Albon technically. I'm
gonna say Charles.
Yeah, Leclerc definitely a shout. Probably one of the top picks. Probably the top taker when I think about it. I didn't even think of him for some reason. Yeah, there are
drivers. A really good race start, but yeah,
there are drivers who you pick over Piastri for the blunder. That's the problem. Like it's not like drivers on equal blunderness, but some drivers were more blundery than Piastri.
If, for example, Antonelli and Leclerc didn't retire, I'd probably argue a lot more for Piastri, because he was slow. But all in all, I'm fine with that. But yeah, definitely not Hamilton. Let's say that.
Okay, one more thing when it comes to this. On pure race pace in clean air, Lewis was quicker than Charles. The gap was bigger than between Lando and Piastri. So,
You're all good. Don't worry, I am agree.
Ferrari of the weekend, uh, Audi.
I would say it's for me. It's
You could
probably like
you could say Aston, but they're bad like every weekend.
yeah. I was literally gonna say Aston, and then I was like,
Uh,
well, that doesn't really count. Haas had
uh,
a poor weekend.
Perhaps
They did so all weekend.
Williams was bad. Haas
The
was
Alex
bad,
Albon.
but Audi fumbled the double points finish perhaps because that car that had it in it. That was the fifth quickest car this weekend. Hulkenberg should have been best of the rest. Alberto was nowhere compared to his teammate for some reason, and that DNF was the most unfortunate thing in Formula 1 history. So that wasn't Audi's fault though. That has to be said. So yeah, probably not. Probably yeah, Haas over Audi and maybe even Williams. So yeah, forget what I said. That was not Audi's fault. That was Barcelona. No. Okay. Our Racing Bulls and Ferrari picks are obviously not great. Racing Bulls finished the points, both of them, P8, P9, and Ferrari. I mean, they won the race. You cannot really give them Ferrari the weekend, although they called Ferrari. Fastest lap was Lewis Hamilton by quite a bit as well. So no points. And Demolition Award, this goes to Charles Leclerc as well. So no points.
Yeah.
Battle Bird prediction, Russell Grand Slam. He got the pole, he led half of the race, but the other half didn't go his way. And
there was a chance. There was a chance.
Halfway there, but not quite. Sainz top 5. I mean, this is probably the worst prediction, apart from the Blood on the Weekend Hamilton, that he could possibly do. Sainz was nowhere. I didn't even see him throughout the weekend. Williams was bad. Sainz, I mean, he probably was ahead of Albon, but no, yeah. Extra ball prediction from our side. Verstappen doesn't start the race. He did start the race, and Audi double points. No points. So, yeah, no points from the bold prediction. Because the extra bold prediction, Aston Martin points. They both DNF'd. And Hajar outqualifies Max Verstappen by more than one position on pace. He was, I believe, less than 1.5 tenths away from doing that. Because he was like less than 2 tenths away from Anthony, who was P3. That was so close to being actually true. Like, when you think about it, like less than 2 tenths of a second from 10 points. That was not that bad, but yeah, but not quite. I mean, no. I'm not even sad that it didn't happen, because when I think about it, probably it's not worth 10 points now that we saw Hajar being so close to Max in qualifying. Like the concept of Max being outqualified by more than one position is extra bold, but the reality right now in the season, Max is not that dominant in qualifying. In the race pace, that's a different story. Like, Max is destroying Hajar in race pace, but qualifying, Hajar is very, very close, and I would not give myself 10 points if this would have come true, even if it would. So that's what I wanted to say. This prediction is actually very close to coming true, and I would probably not even give myself the points for it. It's not that extra bold. Last weekend it maybe seemed like it, but Hajar is really impressed me, especially honestly in qualifying, especially this season. He's much closer to Max than his previous teammates were. Yeah, that's the predictions. So you lead 3-0 when it comes to Spain, and after Spain, we are tied on points at 26.
Let's go, the catch-up.
Yeah. Yeah, we're equal. It's all a level playing field, so now it's game on.
It is game on. Let's do this.
Yes.
But before the end of the video, we are going to quickly go through our driver ratings.
Yeah. We have 10 minutes to do them, so and speed run through. You started last time out, so I'll begin this time. Perez was quicker than Bottas, I believe, in qualifying, and in the race, Bottas. I mean, both of them DNFs.
Retired like 5 laps in.
Yeah, both of them DNFs, right? Or was it?
I think Perez finished.
Okay, my bad.
He was 3 laps behind.
I think Perez had some mechanical issue, but it didn't DNF. But Bottas had a mechanical issue. Yeah, it couldn't continue, but Perez was quicker than Bottas, so I'm giving them a 6 out of 3, I guess, or maybe a 5 out of 3. Wasn't impressed by either.
I'm going to be strict. I'm going to be 4 and a 3 for them too.
Okay. Stroll, he outqualified Fernando Alonso, and then DNF'd.
Yeah, but he was way behind Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, that's true.
As well in the race.
So
you can outqualify him, but then if your teammate that started in the pit lane's overtaking you.
Yeah, because 3.5 and a 4.
I forgot you did 0.5s. For me, I'm going to go for a 2 and a 2.
Yeah. Alex Albon, not a great.
The 11 laps behind Alex Albon. Finished behind Ollie Behrman, Kimi Antonelli, and Charles Leclerc, who retired.
Yep. But they were classified, so
he wasn't.
He finished a few laps behind those who didn't finish. So, yeah, Alex a 2, and Sainz. I mean, didn't do much, but the car was slow. I guess a 5. You can't really judge because his teammate was just that slow.
I'm going to be slightly better than you. I'm going to give Alex a 5. Remember, Alex's retirement was not his fault. It was actually the fault of the FIA. And 5 for Sainz.
Yeah. Okay, Lindblad and Lawson. Lawson was the quicker and the more impressive driver in that team. I gave Lawson an 8 and Lindblad a 7. Actually, a 6.5. I think Lindblad was more unfortunate. More fortunate.
I'm going to give them both 7s. It was similar to last week, where Lawson qualifies a lot better, but Arvid somehow comes up and finishes right behind him. Very much Lewis and George right there.
Yeah, I remember that. Gasly and Colapinto. So Gasly very good at 9, and Colapinto. I mean, I've seen some things on the internet that Colapinto, Alpine should have actually protested the penalty. So I'm not entirely sure what was behind it, but probably wasn't entirely his fault. Maybe I don't have enough information to judge this objectively, so I'm gonna judge his speed during the race, which wasn't even that bad. It was Gasly was quicker, and eventually Colapinto had to let him by. So yeah, Colapinto, I'm gonna give a 7.
Just so you know, it was for failing to slow down under yellow flag.
Oh, okay, maybe a 6. that's a rookie mistake, honestly. That's.
I'm gonna agree with you with a 9 and a 6.
Good. Okay, Hulkenberg qualifying in the Q3 had the unluckiest DNF in the history of Formula 1, with a pebble hitting a kill switch on his car. What are the chances? That's probably nearing being hit by lightning, but probably being hit by lightning is more probable because more people are being struck by lightning than cars DNFing from this. This is ridiculous. It's 1 in a 1,000 race thing. And very unfortunately, it happened to my
I
favorite
love.
driver because
We
that's
had very
yeah,
strange retirements this weekend with both him and Albon.
yeah, true that. Hulkenberg a 9.5. Honestly, he couldn't do much better. Probably was supposed to overtake Lawson. If he would have overtaken Lawson, probably I would give him a 10. But he struggled to do that. Obviously, Lawson did some shenanigans with the moving under braking, but Hulkenberg had the pace to overtake him. They didn't. And in the pit stops, yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but Lawson had like a 6.5 second pit stop. Hulkenberg could have
Yes.
pitted that lap, came out ahead, but Audi waited one more lap so that Hulkenberg would have remained behind Lawson by like half a second. It was the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. That was behind it before the DNF. I was screaming at the TV for the Audi strategy team. I don't know why did I do that, but I remember now why I was so mad at Audi for the entire weekend. But that DNF itself wasn't their fault. Like the kill switch was just such a small thing that was getting hit. But yeah, these things happen. It's very, very, very unfortunate. Very, very rare. Almost super ultra rare. And it happened to my favorite driver because, of course, it did. Bortoleto, on the other hand, absolutely nowhere the entire weekend. Extremely slow. I don't know what happened to him, but that was a really bad weekend. He's getting a free from him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I am going to go for. I think you've got a bit too much bias here. I'm going to go for 7 and a 3 as well. I think it's way too early in the race to be thinking, oh, he could come this place. There's so much more of the race to go.
Yeah,
When
DNF
he
said he could have
retired.
finished even higher, technically.
Yeah, but just I he could have finished very much lower. So I'm not. If buts and maybes, he had a great weekend. He had a incredibly unfortunate retirement, but I'm not gonna. I can't give a that higher rating to someone who retired unless they retire right at the end of the race.
I mean, okay, want to hear your reasoning on why you gave George Russell a 10 in Canada. Yeah, because
Gone
he
that far
retired
back.
like in the
Because George
middle of the
Russell was
race.
in first.
Yeah, Hulkenberg was like P9, right? In an Audi, which
Yeah,
hasn't scored
P9,
points.
that's 2
this year.
points. Audi scored points.
They scored points like once with Bortoleto in a random race where
Yeah,
like 5 cars
exactly.
retired, and Hulkenberg was there on pace in the points. First time in Q3. Yeah, I stand by it, honestly. If Russell got a 10 for Canada from your side, I'm definitely not lowering this 9.5.
No, I'm not telling you to. I'm just for me, in my opinion, and I think I'm going to stick with that as well. I think as much as Bortoletto's points were in Australia. I bet you didn't give him a 9.5 then.
I don't remember what I gave him in Australia. It was start of the season, start of a new era. I don't even know the ratings
Yeah.
from the last race, let alone Australia.
You remember my rating of thing?
Yeah, I remember specifically your rating for Russell in Canada because I was surprised by that point. I remember some things that just yeah. Okay. Do you want to speedrun the rest of these, or how is it your time wise?
We can keep slowly going through as
Okay.
quickly as possible.
Ocon. Ocon gets a 3. Okay, actually 2. Right? No, okay, 3. I'll raise Albon to 3 thanks to the your arguments, and Behrman gets a 5.5, I guess. It was quicker than Ocon, but still wasn't close to points.
I'd like to extend some forgiveness to you. You did give Bortoletto a 9 for that race.
Okay, that makes sense. That's
Anyway,
yeah.
anyway, My ratings for Ocon and Behrman, no one saw anything. I think I'm going to give them both like. I'm just going to give them both for free.
Yeah, fair. Hajar. Well, quick in qualifying, unfortunate start. Red Bull. Okay, but yeah.
Was
One sec.
entertaining though.
One sec. Kind of the spreadsheet moved a little bit. Oops. Almost fixed. Okay. Technical difficulties. Okay, speaks now. Oh, my bad. Hajar gets a 7.5 from me, and Max gets an 8. Actually, Hajar is 7. He maybe could have finished that Piastri without that star.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to give Max Verstappen with the most nothing race of his life.
He was absolutely nowhere from everyone. Like, even Hajar had that some kind of a race. Like, he was half a second behind Piastri and like a minute ahead of Gasly. Those guys were ridiculous. In that
I'm going to be very controversial and give them both 7s.
I mean, you're basing Max Verstappen because it's like he has high standards, right? But
yeah, he's the best.
I'm trying to like be objective based on the car performance, not necessarily.
Yeah, but I think you have to take into account the history of Max Verstappen.
I mean, we are supposed to rate the drivers based on their performance, not their reputation. But I mean, you're free to do it your way, right?
Yeah, I've always taken into account reputation.
Yeah. Like, it actually equals out, and in the end, we got the most based wheel knowledge rating combined of us two that you'll ever see.
If Lance Stroll like beat Alonso by 10 places, he gets a little extra, sugar his way because he's Lance Stroll, for goodness sake. And he's against Fernando Alonso, who's proved to be about 10 times the driver he is every single race.
Yeah. Sorry. Piastri, 4. Norris, Lando was... Okay, actually, when I think about it, Piastri gets a 5 and Lando gets a 9. That makes sense, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm going to give Piastri a 4. I'm going to be quite strict on him because I don't think he had the greatest race ever, and I'm going to give Lando an 8.
Okay, I think about it, like, I give Hajar and Max very similar ratings compared to Norris and Piastri, and both of like those races were similarly separated. Actually gonna lower Hajar to a 6.5 and Max to a 9.
Piastri, a 9?
I mean,
it's Max Verstappen.
It's Max Verstappen. That Red Bull couldn't have finished any higher. Let's be real. Piastri a 5.5, I guess. So I can like argue with myself in this case.
I'm gonna have a hard argument with you here, not a proper a debate with you here. You earlier mentioned you thought that Hajar could beat Piastri.
Yeah, I think he had the potential if it wasn't for that start.
So why is Verstappen not able to beat Norris?
Well, I'm not saying that the car deserved to be ahead, just that the driver had more pace than the other.
Right? Yeah. So why is if Verstappen has the same machinery, why is he not be able to beat Norris?
No, you don't get my point. Like, I think Hajar could have fought Piastri on the pace he showed in the race compared to Piastri's that Piastri showed. Not counting in Max and Norris's pace, because those two were in the league of their own compared to their teammates. I think both of them maximized their car, which couldn't be said for Piastri and Hadjar. I think Piastri was further away from Norris than Hadjar was from Verstappen, essentially.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give on. Oh wait, it's you.
Yeah. Sorry. Lewis Hamilton. I wonder what rating do I give Lewis Hamilton? Yeah, this is difficult, right? I was thinking maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna stall it much longer. It's a 10. It's the 10 is 10 of all 10s in the 10s that we've 10. And Charles Leclerc has that was a bad weekend. That was a 2.5 or maybe a 3 actually, because he did something in the race despite DNFing later on.
How is he so much farther down than Piastri?
I mean, Piastri didn't crash and was closer to his teammate.
But it wasn't Leclerc's fault he crashed.
In qualifying?
Oh, in qualifying, yeah, fair enough.
Piastri qualified at 10th behind his teammate. Charles Leclerc crashed and Lewis finished P2. I mean,
Leclerc got ahead of him straight away. But yeah, I get you.
But also Ferrari was quicker than Leclerc.
I'll go 10 and 4.
Okay. Antonelli and George Russell. Okay, these two. George was quicker in qualifying, Antonelli in the race. Both of them kind of equaled out, I think. Both of them deserve the same rating, in my opinion. I'm gonna give both of them a 7.5.
I'm gonna just give both of them an 8. I think they were about the same, weren't they?
Yeah. I think those two pretty much deserve the same rating. They're like the closest driver pairing this entire weekend. It's crazy to say.
Yeah.
Look at these ratings, like they're so one-sided in most of them. Except
I'm excited to see. Now we've got through our first. Is this 7 races?
Yes.
Or 6?
I mean, I can assemble the average rating, but I kind of just want to let that throughout the entire season,
I
and
agree.
then look at it like at the end.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm just, now that we got into it, I'm excited to see what we'll get as an average rating come the end of it.
Maybe I'll show you like in private, off camera, the
because that'll affect how I vote.
So
I don't want to.
Yeah, that's one reason why I also didn't want to like see the ratings. Like I don't know the data. I remember some ratings that mainly what I given the drivers, but I don't know the exact data. Like I don't have it in front of me, so I'll be as surprised as you will be come the end of the season.
Nice.
Yeah. So this has been the Spanish Grand Prix reaction, review, and driver ratings. Thank you so much, everyone who's been watching, listening, commenting. Every interaction is much appreciated. Welcome back, HX, to the podcast for the 3rd time. Hopefully you can stay as long as possible, barring any unfortunate things outside our control. It's been very much the Grand Prix that I want to see more of later in the season. Like, we're getting to the European parts, some familiar tracks. Very excited. So yeah, thank you so much again, and we'll see you the next time, next video, next week, for the next race in Austria. I'm gonna be attending as well.
Britannia, baby.
Yeah. I'll give purely 100% objective opinion on the Austrian race in the reaction. Probably not, but yeah. Last year I was trying to be objective, but yeah. I don't think from the grandstands you can see as much as from the TV.
No,
but,
definitely.
I'll try to be as objective as possible. And yeah, we'll see you next week for the Australian Grand Prix predictions. I've been Sagan, this is an HX. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Rule Britannia, baby!